Day Win the Storm 2023, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I'm sitting here with Casey Reefer and Aqua Periit, and he's one of my best buds coming out from Texas. He's been here in Florida with me for, I think he came down for a few months at least.
Yeah,
you know. So tell us a little bit about your company. I know you're a new company. You're really just getting started, but you have been kicking ass and taking names because you're in Dallas. You're working
Dallas. Yeah. Okay. So Aqua Periit Restoration, we do water, fire, and mold remediation. And I initially started the company December of 2020, and started it in Dallas. I went live December 2020. And then February of 2021, we had that huge freeze in Texas where everybody's pipes started bursting and my phone just didn't stop ringing. So that kind of catapulted me, into into the black, because I was prepared for it to be, not producing money for first year business, but I literally caught lightning in a bottle. So I started doing, ton of water remediation. Then I went and got licensed to do the fire. So sure enough, as soon as I get licensed to do fire, a couple of houses got hit by lightning, unfortunately. And, they called me, and I started getting a lot of referral through, other people in the industry, people who knew me personally. Said, man, you need to get into something for yourself where you can go and make a name for yourself, because your personality and, people, want to do business with people who they like.
That's right, man. No, we call that, my dad always called that a second guess moment, right? So when you start a company and as an entrepreneur, we don't know, you don't know if you're going to succeed. You hope, right? You plan for success, but you never know whether it's going to actually happen or not till you really get out there and put the work in. That second guess moment is where you're going, well, maybe this will work, maybe this won't, but I'm going to push at it. And all of a sudden, God goes, here you go, man. You got this. And then bang, for us, it was Hurricane Matthew. And it was one of those things where it's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't chase storms. Maybe we should. And then Hurricane Matthew hit, and then to the moon,
Right.
So, man, that's awesome, dude. So that 2021 freeze was Carlos's 40th birthday, and I was stuck in Vegas when everything froze over.
Yeah.
But you do, I mean, you're licensed here in Florida.
Yeah,
your brother
got the thing. Came down for the hurricane to do water remediation, but I couldn't do mold remediation at that time because we weren't licensed in Florida. You have to have a license specifically from Florida.
And for those of you that don't know about Florida licensing, they do not play. It is not a game.
They will put you in handcuffs and parade you in front of the press. Say, hey, we got one.
Yep, this is a bad guy. You're going to jail.
You're going to jail, and they'll do that. But I get why they're doing that, because they're doing it to protect a vulnerable population, which is the elderly, because they tend to get taken advantage of.
Yeah, this is no, I'm not going to say that about Florida. It's a nice place. The joke about Florida is what everybody comes down here. Death's waiting room. No, we've had some great times down here, great people. But so you're licensed mold remediation.
Licensed for mold remediation now, and for mold inspection, and people who I've met throughout the conference, and that's the first thing I talked to them about. I was like, oh yeah, it's like now, my company is now licensed to do mold remediation and mold inspection, and their eyes just like,
that's printing money, homie. That's printing money.
It's like, let's talk about how we can work together. And I was like, absolutely, because my thing is like, I'm coming into their backyard, so I got to be able to. I like being able to sit down and see somebody face to face. I'm old school like that. I want to be able to sit down, know who I'm doing business with, shake their hand, because once again, it's that likability factor. Do I like this person? Do I want to give them my business, or do I want to, vouch for that person? Yep, that's a guy who you want to go through, use his company, because he'll stand by what he's doing.
Well, look, I can speak from personal experience. Casey has come and you've done the mold remediation at my house, right? We had a roof put on. Unfortunately, the roof got messed up by the installer, and we had a leak. I do jobs with people that are in my circle, my friends, or people that I like, right? So Casey came to the house, knocked it out, made sure all the mold was dead, and now they're putting it back. So but no. How was Florida? Florida was good for you then?
Yeah, Florida was good. Was good for me. It was heartbreaking though to see all these, to see the devastation, especially seeing it from the air.
Yeah.
Because when you're on the ground level, you're seeing one house. But when you take it up in a helicopter and you're flying and you're seeing
horizon.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was heartbreaking for that type of devastation. So it's like, man, what can I do? How can I help this one individual out to put a smile on their face? Well, okay, I'm not here alone. I'm not going to be taken advantage of. Yep. That's a big thing. I never want people to feel like they're being taken advantage of. I want to be their ally, their advocate, especially dealing with the insurance company, because people don't know. I always tell my clients, when you're talking to the insurance company, the best thing you can do, say as little as possible, because they will use that against you to deny claims.
Well, I mean, look, listen 10 times more than you speak when it comes to the insurance companies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And I tell people, look, I am not an expert. This is not legal advice. But what I would do is public adjuster or lawyer.
Absolutely.
We're doing that with our house too. I'm having to get the lawyers involved to make sure that we're protected. And it's actually a sad thing, because what do we do? I mean, your insurance is mandated. It's against the law not to have auto or home insurance or all this other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we pay our premiums. I don't miss a payment. You miss payment? No.
Miss a payment.
But then you have an event, and what happens?
Well, we know what your house will cost $100,000 to get back to being good again, but we're only going to give you $35,000.
Yeah.
Have a good day, and don't forget your payment is due in.
Don't miss it. We're gonna drop you.
We're gonna drop you.
Yeah. Oh man, look, it's a sad world that we live in right now when it comes to this insurance stuff, and it's only getting worse. It's only getting worse because what happens if they really fight the insurance companies as a state, they lose insurance companies. State Farm is not in Florida. Am I correct on that? I think I am.
I remember a couple of insurance companies aren't in Florida. Right before the hurricane hit, certain insurance companies, they closed, and they left their clients high and dry. They weren't able to get insured because it happened like a couple of weeks before a hurricane. So the next provider's like, no, we'll pick you up after the hurricane.
Yeah, man, it's a racket, man. It's a racket. But look, there's still good that comes out of all the evil and all the bad. I know between us, we've met a few really good guys. We've helped a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've helped a lot of people. And it's just one of those things where if you have the ability to, then you have the obligation to, right? So if I have the ability to help somebody, I have the obligation to. So same thing with my group of friends that do business like you and a few other guys. I have the obligation. I want to see my friends rise up, man.
Exactly.
You know?
I've been in situations we've been in situations where it wasn't anything beneficial for you, but she was like, hey, I want you to be my guy Casey. You know, he has a company and he can, knock out your mold or your water damage, your fire, and you want to make sure that, hey, you know what, as you're rising, the tree guardian, you're pulling up the people who are good people, because you're like, okay, if I'm over here, he has my six covered on this area.
That's right.
So it's all about circling the wagons and protecting our own. And that's one of the reasons why, when we first met, I was like gravitated towards this guy. We met at a friend's wedding, and we hung out that night. We hung out the next night, and then we kept in touch. And the next thing you know, we're working together. Which
that's
is like,
it.
Because I was thinking, eventually down the line, and here's a hurricane.
Yeah, and here's a hurricane. And hey, Casey, I got a guy with a house that's all ripped apart, man.
Yeah.
No, man, it's one of those things again, and I've said it a couple times on the podcast, where if the team is eating, right, and nobody gets greedy, the team will rise together. We know the person that said that, right? Mm-hmm. And it's an amazing thing. I've always been a team player. I played football, I was in the Army, you were in the Marines, right? That camaraderie is something that I miss from the Army. I'm gonna miss a lot of the other things.
Yeah.
But I miss the camaraderie. Oh man. I miss the camaraderie, man. My brother watching out for me. So having people like you in our circle and other guys, man, it really makes me feel good, because as we grow, I'm going to be pushing my people, the guys that are inside of our network that help us grow, I'm going to help them grow as best as I can. You know what I mean? And I don't sleep, man. When I tell you what, I think about, we work until I have a heart attack.
Well, so bad will happen.
In fact, the guys were saying yesterday, we were watching the bag being lifted. Everybody's watching the bag, right? I'm out in the crowd like, hey, my name's Jake, I own Tree Guardian. The gimmick's there. People are drawing in. Now it's time to sell.
My back hurt watching them with that bag.
Dude, this thing is no joke. So I'm going to tell everybody where this idea came from. So my sales and marketing manager, Nick, and I kind of came up with this, and Nick's really the mastermind, but I've had roofers tell me we can do the tree, or we can pick that log up off the roof, right? Yeah. And the famous thing is a pack of shingles weighs about 50 pounds, right? So Nick got a 100-pound bag, so that's basically two packs of shingles. And I tell you what, some of these guys talk big shit, and I love it. I love braggadocious people, right? But they talk big shit about, I can carry 2 packs up a ladder on a roof, up a 10 on 12, yeah.
It's raining, and
uphill twice, and then they come over here, they can't lift it 5 times. You know what I mean? So, but I tell you what, the guy that did it 35 times,
he didn't break a sweat.
No, he wasn't even breathing hard, man. In fact, he stopped when there was 10 seconds left with the
like,
girls. I'm like, hey, man, you want to do some more? Okay, cool.
He was very impressive. Just to see. I was like, my goodness.
Yeah, man. No, that was impressive. And you're right. My back. I like lifting something maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
And put it back down. You know what I mean? Give me some heavyweight. So tell everybody, like, so you're in Dallas, Texas, and you're licensed in Florida as well. Yeah. You're chasing any other licenses right now, or?
Those are the ones that it's my bread and butter. Is the water, the mold, and the fire. It also comes, one place gets set on fire. What happens where there's fire?
There's smoke.
There's smoke. So the smoke actually travels and gets into houses miles down the road.
Yeah.
So those are those areas where I'm focusing on, and I don't want to go and try and spread and do everything. That's why I partnered up with other people. Like, I've met some good roofers here. I have some good roofing contacts back in Texas. Yeah. So coordinating with those guys and meeting guys down here at Wind the Storm is like, okay, well, you're a veteran-owned company. Boom, you're the one who I want to do business.
That's it, man.
There's a couple of public adjusters I've met. I already know that I'm going to work with that guy because he's a former Marine, and him and I we talked, we vetted each other out. Okay, you're actually a Marine because you always have those stolen valor guys. You got to.
Yeah, I mean, so like the veteran thing, man. If nobody takes care of us, who will? We have to take care of us, right? The government's not. That's for sure. We know that. If anybody's in the VA system, like I am, like Casey is, we get to enjoy these wonderful things called wait lists. And, I had to get an MRI. It took me 6.5 months to get an MRI, so it is what it is, man. I'm not bitching, but I got a blessed life, and there's a lot of people that have a lot worse than me, but I try and be an advocate for those people that can't. One of the reasons we started this podcast is to get people on here, spread their word, right? I want people to see other people's companies and help everybody grow together. But then also we want to start weeding out the bullshit. Yeah. The people that are fucking everybody over, the people that are stealing from people that are lying, right? We want to weed all that out. And as our podcast grows and continues, this is what I'm going to focus on. We're gonna talk about the truth. You know what I mean? And everybody knows GTFO, with Eric Oberyn. You know what I mean? T was on there. Just be authentic or get the fuck out, man. Yeah. So I want to concentrate on the truth and what the truth is. And we're going to have people on like Doug Quinn, and we're going to start talking about real stuff.
Doug is a good man. He's a good man.
Oh, he is, man. Listen, and anybody out there that wants to donate to a cause, man, the APA, I can tell you from personal experience, if you give that man money, he's not going to buy a car with it. He's not. He's
an advocate.
That's right.
For the little guy.
That's right.
He goes up against the big insurance companies and has congressional hearings where
it's not. It's not scared, man.
He calls out the big insurance companies in congressional hearings. It's like for you to do that as a small guy, and he's like, they always want to come after him. But go ahead. He's like, I want you to come after me because you're giving me more ammunition.
They've got documented proof from Hurricane Ian now. Did you read that article in the Washington Post?
Washington Post. Man. They have the engineers who are like falsifying reports for the insurance companies so they can deny claims.
Bro, I hope he burns the system down, man. We need a new one. And it's not just that. We can get into politics all day right here. Right? I don't care if you're purple, green, black, white, orange, gay, straight, LB, whatever it is. I don't care. If you're one of the alphabet people, you can be the president. I'll support you as long as you have the country's best interests in mind, right? That's the important thing, right? And that's what we miss. I think I can speak for you out of the military is when I'm standing next to my brother, I want to make sure that he's okay, my sister's okay, that camaraderie, man, and making sure that we're all good, right? Yeah. And that goes back to you're checking on your friends and all that other stuff, right? But we can dive deep into that in the next episode. But I'm gonna come up to Dallas, man. We're gonna sit down somewhere and we're gonna bring this podcast is just getting started, man. Chris and all these guys have done a phenomenal job, and I think we got like 60 interviews. You're like number 63. You know what I mean?
Right on.
So look, guys, Wind the Storm 2023, Aqua Periit, my man right here, Casey Reefer. If you need anything as far as mold remediation, dry outs, what else?
Fire damage. Those are our bread and butter. The best thing is that we're already licensed in Texas, but now to be licensed here, specifically in Florida, that's the big thing.
Which there's a lack. There's a lack of licenses like this man. Call him. How can they get in touch with you?
You can go to the website,
Okay.
aquaperiit.com,
Okay.
and there's a number there that you can call directly, or there's a help@aquaperiit.com email.
What's your number?
I don't even remember. You know, one of the things you never call yourself. Actually,
look, wait, hold on. We're gonna get this out.
Yeah, let me get.
We live. This man got to know his number. I love it.
Yeah, one of them don't call myself. Oh yes, you can call me at 469-920-3927.
Heck yeah, dude. Call my guy if you're in Florida or Texas. Make sure you get in touch with him. He will take care of you. I promise it. He did my personal house, and I would recommend him to anyone. Tree Guardian USA, Win the Storm 2023.
2023.
And we're just getting started on the third day. Stay back. Thank you, brother.